everybody, welcome back to a podcast Orange. I am your host, Tom Crescenzo. It is good to be here. Joining me as always is my co-host, Meghan Markle. How are you doing, Megan? You've been going through a lot.
It's been pretty good. I think that I'm doing very well.
Yeah, so Megan, I've been reading the British tabloids. Apparently you're a daft cunt.
That is quite true. But you know what's even weirder is when Jack does his Meghan Markle impression, he puts on a British accent, even though Meghan Markle is from New York. So it makes no sense.
It's like, yeah, right. Really, it should be like, Megan, has it really been that rough for you? And she's like, hey, these fucking assholes they're treating me like a piece of shit over here.
These kings and queens, they acting like...
Oh, so you got a crown. Oh, okay, big man over here.
Honestly, if the royal family spoke with New York accents, people would like them more.
Oh, no, if the royal family talked like the Sopranos... I would follow everything they do. Like,
imagine like Queen Elizabeth comes over and Biden's like, so how was your trip? Forget about it. You know what are you gonna do? It's a fucking positive.
Or like the Queen flies over and it's like, oh Queen, is there any way we can make you comfortable? And she's like, listen.
How about some gabagool?
Yeah, right. She's like, how about you just get out of my face? You understand me? You understand me? It's like,
just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, just get the fuck out of here, okay? Just get the fuck out of here. And then she's just like she like swears in Italian. She's like,
I only know racist slurs in Italian.
Yeah, right.
Thanks to the Sopranos.
She's just like, tazzon molagnan. It's like, whoa.
Dude, you're calling yourself... I don't know any slurs in Italian.
I mean, tazzon, that's one.
Yeah, but that's a race... Like, I don't know, like, fuck or shit.
Oh. I don't know what fuck is. I'm pretty sure shit is, mierda.
Mierda?
Like mierda.
Oh, mierda. Well,
yeah.
Mierda means dead in Spanish. Or that's muerto. Muerta. No, muerta means dead in Spanish.
Muerte.
Muerte. Okay.
We're not experts on languages.
No,
we should not be doing this.
I got C's in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I took it for 3 years.
I cheated my way through Italian. Here's the thing. For the first, 2 to 3 years of Italian, middle school to early high school, I gave a shit. I was like, yeah, I can kind of speak this. I can talk in Italian for, a minute. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, in 10th grade, something in my brain just switched off. And I was like, fuck this. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't want to speak Italian. I don't even care. I don't plan to go to Italy. Italy's a shithole. Why would I go there? So I was like, I just stopped caring. I started cheating and, translating my essays. And, one time I literally put my notes in, the leg of my shorts during an exam. And I was just literally, blatantly fucking cheating on my test. Because I was just so done.
You cheated?
And then, yeah, it's like, what?
I didn't know that.
You mean to tell me that Tom Crescenzo of a podcast Orange cheats on his exams?
I didn't know that, though. This is a scandal.
Dump him right in the pile with Dr. Seuss.
Canceled.
That's it.
Cancel Crescenzo.
Yeah, cancel Tom Crescenzo. He cheated on his Italian exam. No, but here's the thing. My teacher was she was such a sweet lady. God bless her soul. Her name was Miss Silva. And she was always like, Crescenzo, why don't you care about my class? Why don't you care about Italian? And I'm like, I'm sorry, Miss Silva. I'm sure you would be great to take shots with, but I just don't want to
just I got other shit.
She seemed like a cool older lady, but I just didn't care about Italian, so she hated me. And I was cheating that day, and literally while I was writing an answer, I just heard from above me Crescenzo, can I see your exam, please? And I was just like, oh man.
Oh shit.
It's literally that red-handed, it was like a cartoon. I was like, are you kidding me? Is this really happening? And then I just pulled it out. I gave her the exam, and she just ripped it up in front of the whole class. She just ripped it to shreds.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay.
She saw
she saw that I was clearly cheating. Because I literally just had a piece of paper in my fucking shorts. And I would roll back my shorts to read it. You'd have to be blind or retarded not to see that I was cheating.
I love how she was probably more pissed about that. Because she was like, it's one thing to cheat, but have some respect for me.
Yeah, right. It's one thing to cheat, but at least go on YouTube and look up a how-to and how to do it in a cool way.
Don't treat me like I'm some sort of asshole that doesn't see your fucking notes on your leg.
At least hide it on your water bottle like a normal kid.
That's funny, though.
Bro,
how many kids were in the class?
A lot. My classes were big. They were usually 24. But, here's the kicker. it was towards the end of the year, and when you get close to the end of the year, you're allowed to drop grades. Like, I don't know if you had that in your school where it's like certain classes will be like, well, you could drop like your shittiest grade, it'll like help your average. But so I was literally just like, all right, I'm getting a 0. I guess I'll just drop this one. And I just dropped it.
And then you just give it up for the rest of the...
literally didn't affect my average, and then I still passed. Like,
so then for like the rest of the semester, you were like Peter in Office Space, where you just are like on vacation mode and don't give a shit about the class.
Literally, yeah.
You're just like, I'm coming in. You just put your feet up on the desk. You're like, all right, what are we doing today?
Yeah, so like, okay, yeah, like, that's exactly what it was.
I would love to go to class one day, like, so what's new, Professor?
Yeah, with like a bogey in your mouth, like,
this
so
is all bullshit. Yeah.
Hey, we learning today?
We doing this or what?
Hey, what's the lesson plan there, Toots?
Honestly, though, in college, I became a lot more like that. Because, I had a professor, Tom Kenny, who is also the name of the actor.
Yeah, I was going to say, and he's like, today, class, we're going to talk about...
But Professor Tom Kenny was, like, the coolest fucking dude, right? So he was, like, you know, he's only, like, I don't know, 10 years older than me. But he didn't treat you... He was like, you just call me Tom. You know, that's my name.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would go to class sometimes, and we'd, like, bust each other's balls and like, curse and shit in class. I remember, like, this other...
You just walk in and he's like, hey, Tom, you're such a fucking asshole.
Like, yo,
he's like, Jack, I told you can't keep doing this. It's like, yeah, that's what pussies say.
Well, he had this other... So there was another professor. They would sometimes be... Because they taught production, right?
Yeah.
So one of my classes was editing, like video editing. One of the professors was in the room while we're all editing, Professor Stevens, and editing can be frustrating as fuck, as you know.
Yeah.
And so at one point it was so frustrating. I in the middle of class, I just go, fuck! And then she's like, Jack! I was like, fuck this shit! And she said, Jack! And I said, I'm sorry, Professor. What I meant to say was, fuck this shit. And this other kid, these kids started fucking rolling on the floor laughing.
I would have cried. That's the best. Like,
they started, I swear to God, I never seen the kids would start fucking howl like that.
I mean, that's like the funniest thing. Like that's almost too funny to be true. Like,
the professor was...
I almost want to see a video where I don't believe you. Like,
the professor, though, was just like, I just kind of laughed it off, though, because she was like, what am I going to... If I kick him out, then I'll just be like...
Mad awkward for the rest of the period.
He'll be mad awkward. And also, like, he's a good... Like, she knows, like, I'm not a bad student. I'm just frustrated. I'm a smart ass. That's my biggest flaw, is that...
Yes, that is your biggest
That is my
flaw,
biggest...
As opposed to the laundry list of other things.
Well, the one I'm focusing on right now.
The being a smart ass.
Because it's, like, my biggest flaw is when there's something sarcastic to say, even if it'll get me in trouble... I was like, I gotta say it. I can't control myself sometimes.
No, I mean, like, I understand that impulse. It could definitely go south depending on who your teacher was. Like, imagine if you were like, you said that shit, like, you're like, oh, sorry, what I meant to say was, fuck this shit. And he's like, what the hell is that? Like, what, you think you just say that to me? Like, yeah. And then it's like, oh, man.
Well, I once saw this kid in class, and this is in the same exact room at Malloy College. This kid, I've never seen, like, a kid get in trouble in college, because, you know, in college...
You really don't get in...
You don't get in trouble.
It's kind of hard, yeah. You have to either be, like, obviously stoned or, like, you know, yeah.
You have to... even if you're obviously stoned, there was a kid named Jared who would come in just reeking and be like, hey, guys. Like, you have to literally walk into a class smoking a bong.
Yeah. Or drunk. Like, honestly, being drunk is one way to get in trouble. But, like, yeah. Like,
you have to try to get in trouble in college.
Basically, the only way you get in trouble in college is if you're, like, doing something that would get you in trouble anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like when you were in school, you can get in trouble for things that would not get you in trouble anywhere else. Like not asking to go to the bathroom. Like, realistically, that wouldn't get you in trouble in most jobs.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you're a grown adult. Like, you have to fucking go to the bathroom. Like, you don't have to ask me.
Right.
But then, like...
Or even in college.
Even in college, you don't have to ask. But then it's like, when you get to college, like, what gets you in trouble is, like, the shit that would really get you in trouble anyway.
Yeah,
like, if you stumble into class drunk as shit, it's like, yeah,
you're
probably
getting
get kicked out. Like,
if you get in trouble, you deserve to get in trouble. Except for this one thing that I saw, which was honestly amazing. This kid, there was, like, these little... you know this thing where it's, like, animated elves? And they, like, sing a little dance and song, and you could... people, what they do is they put somebody's head over the elf, so it looks like...
Yes, I know about your student film, Jack.
Anyway,
I didn't think you released it yet.
Well, that's just my porno that I made.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's this little thing, and people take it and they send it to their friends, and it's like, hey, look, I put your head on a little elf and we're dancing. It's Christmas, haha.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking. Anyway, so this kid was making one of those videos, and he put the head of my advisor on the elf, and I thought, like, it wasn't like mean. It was like a cute little whatever. And my Professor Ravioli walked in. His name was Professor Avioli, but anyway. I mean, Ravioli. But I'm a 5-year-old, so...
Yes, Ravioli. I would go with Ravioli as well.
So he saw this, and he's like, I'm gonna... Like, he's like, this is fucked up. Like, I'm gonna report this to the dean.
Wow.
And the kid's
just like, yo, I did not. I'm sorry.
Dude, in the middle, this was like a packed room. And he's like, Professor, I'm really, really sorry. And he started, like, crying and having a mental breakdown. And then he stormed out of the room. And then this kid just happened to be in the classroom that day, Jared, and he went to him, the same guy who was, like, stoned all the time. He's like, Jack, is this class like this all the time? Like, you just walked in on, like, the most interesting day of the whole semester. Right.
It's like, all right, I'll come through. Like, I'll see what it's about. And then, like, that shit happens. It's like, yo, I want to come here all the time.
This is fucking crazy. But yeah, so you don't. I don't know. You don't get in trouble for college for stupid bullshit.
I mean, the thing is, because when you're in college, you get to that depression age where if you get in trouble, you might mentally break down in the middle of the class and then storm out. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like in school, even in high school, it's like if you get in trouble, like you're just like, oh man, like fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, but then like in college, like. You get in trouble, kids are like, I'm sorry, I think about suicide all the time.
My life is over.
It's like,
most professors are like,
Jesus.
Dude, all right.
It's like, dude,
you're in trouble.
Like 3 years ago, you would have called your teacher a fag 5 minutes after getting in trouble. Now you're whimpering. Like,
I think
happened?
Most professors will just give into that shit, too. If you're like, I'm really sick. All right, fuck, Jesus, man.
Yeah, they're like, okay, no, I didn't want to, fuck, don't fire me. Like, I didn't want to get,
they're so, like...
Because that's the thing, professors, like, I don't know how tenure works at universities, but, like, professors can get reported for shit from students, and then it's like...
That professor got fired after that semester.
Which one?
The one who was like, you need to go, I'm going to report this. He got fired.
Wow.
And I'm not surprised, because he was one of my favorite professors, because he... I love how I said, this guy got fired. He was one of my favorite professors.
He was so mean to the kid, that's why I love him.
But he would drink, like, before class... during class.
Yes.
And
after class.
and he would say inappropriate things. Like, he was funny, though, and he was like a funny asshole. He said to this girl once, this fat girl, and it made me laugh, but it was such a dick thing to say. He's like, you know who you really look like? You look like Jonah Hill.
Oh, my God. Holy fuck.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Bro.
But I don't think he was trying to be mean. He was, like, saying, like, her facial...
Could you imagine sitting there, like, your family is paying, like tens of thousands of dollars in tuition just so you can get told that you look like a fat man.
You look like a fat, ugly man.
Yeah, like you're a woman. It's like the
last thing. You could have picked any guy. You could have picked like a handsome actor to say.
Yeah, you could have said like, oh, you look like, or you could have just left her alone.
Or you could have said nothing. You could have just
could have just let her be a college student and get the experience she's supposed to. Instead, he stepped over.
I mean, she was kind of a bitch, so I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm sure that.
So like,
I'm sure that made it fun.
If she was like really nice, I would have been like, "Hey, you can't do that." You know, I would have been.
Would you have?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have just been a pussy.
Either way, you probably would have laughed.
Yeah, because it was one of those moments though where you're laughing because it's funny, but it's also so like you're amazed that something just happened and it's kind of awkward. So you're like, it's like when Bonnie said the N-word. It was that kind of laughing.
I mean, that was like the fucking.
That was a crazy.
That was like peak like. I felt like I got struck by lightning when that happened. Like I was like.
I was sitting right next to you when that happened.
Bro, I was like zoning out. It was towards the end of the night. And like, you know, the only reason she did it is because like one of the black comedians aforementioned before her made a joke that all the white comedians get an N-word card tonight. Yeah. Which is obviously, I don't think it takes much to realize he doesn't literally mean that. Yeah. But, you know, we all kind of made our little N-word jokes. Like, We were like, I was like, well, I'm the only one, you know, unlike everyone else, I'm the only white guy in here who's not allowed to have an N-word card. Like, Andrew said something where he's like, oh, I can use my pass.
Yeah.
And then, like, he didn't, but...
Right.
Then Bonnie just straight up went up, like, literally, like, with, like, swinging right into the ring. She was like, well, I'm a woman, so I'm not going to use my... And then it came out like that. She said N-word card, like, loud, and with the ER at the end. And, like, I was literally, like, I literally audibly, I was like, whoa! Like,
see, right there, what that is, though, that is fucking... Everyone talks about male privilege, and I think it is a real thing, but that is a woman privilege right there.
No,
the fact that if she was a man, she would have gotten the shit kicked
out. Oh, she would have got her ass beat, yeah. I mean, not only is she lucky, it's not just that she's a woman, she's also lucky she's like a
middle-aged
like
dainty.
A middle-aged, dainty, kind of goofy
She's
woman.
a small, like, if you were to, like... Yeah, everybody...
It looks like you could step on her if you weren't looking. Like, you know what I mean?
Tiny.
Like, that's the thing, is like, when you're... Yeah, you can get away with that shit when you're a woman. Like, if you have a vagina, you truly can get away with saying the N-word in front of a black person. Like,
because it's like, if they hit you, now you're the asshole, even though they said...
They'll get upset with you, but, like, I mean, it depends on... Let's be fair. It depends on what neighborhood you're in. But, like, yeah, if you say the N-word in front of a black person, like, 9 times out of 10... They'll be mad at you. They'll be like, man, that's so fucked up. You're racist, white bitch. But then they're not going to attack you.
No.
But, like, if I did
might fuck you. I mean, I would, you know.
I'd probably die. Like, that'd probably be the last day of my life. Like,
well, that would be the last time, if that was you that said, that would be the last time you perform stand-up comedy.
Oh, that's for sure, yeah.
You would literally probably move out of Long Island.
Yeah, I probably would, or at least cut off everybody I knew in the comedy scene. You know,
that would have been so weird. And it's like, and we know certain comics that have said the hard N-word, and it's like, when they stick around, it's kind of hard to just stick around after that.
Well, I mean, like, with Bonnie, it's like, to be honest, I expect nothing less from her, so I was like, and like...
But she didn't mean it. I mean, yeah, you should never say the word.
She didn't mean it, but, like, you know, trying to explain it to her was, like, futile. Like, we were literally, like, I remember me and Devin...
trying to explain quantum physics.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, it's like trying to teach a kid about, like, evolution, you know? Like, she's like, I don't understand. Like, I didn't mean it. He said we get the N-word card. And me and Devin are like, Bonnie, like, for fuck's sakes, like...
You mean to tell me that when people say things at a comedy open mic, they're not supposed to be taken literally?
You mean to tell me that jokes are not... You mean to tell me that jokes are not serious proclamations?
It's so... Dude, and... Yeah, no, the funniest thing was seeing the host... though in the back, he was just like,
oh yeah, one take.
Because she was
I love one take.
One take's the man.
Honestly, like, he's probably the best host who could have possibly handled that. Because like, even myself, I don't know what I would have done. Like, if I was hosting, like,
I would have cut her off.
Yeah, like, I would have been all right, that's it for Bonnie Scalise. Sorry, Bonnie, I love you, but
no, Bonnie's. But it's like, I fucking miss that place. Yeah. Just talking about it now.
I mean, let's not say exactly where it was, but I do miss it. Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing is, it's like that's the weird thing about like how like cancel culture pick and chooses and stuff. Is this is like
segue.
Yeah, nice segue.
Fucking Paul Blart over here on his segues.
Yeah, just segueing into the next bit. Well, yeah, it just seems like... Doesn't it seem like, I mean, in the last week, like, it's starting to seem like cancel culture's losing its meaning. Like,
yeah.
Everything
is cancel culture.
Yeah, like, people are like, all right, so, I found a video of you from years ago where you said something racist. You're canceled. It's like, yeah, I mean, so is Mr. Potato Head. Like, who gives a shit? Like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, you're canceling childhood entities now. Like, the fact is, like, I stopped thinking about these characters years ago, and, like, you're now bringing them up just to tell me they're not okay anymore. It's like I don't even watch them. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
you can't watch Looney Tunes anymore. Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Well, there goes my Friday night.
God damn, all those TiVos I had downloaded.
Let me tell you something, and this is a hard thing to admit, and, you know, I rarely open up on this podcast.
It's all right, Jack. But, take a deep breath, man. It's fine.
When I was a young kid,
It's all right. I know it's not easy.
Pepe Le Pew
Oh,
raped me.
oh, fuck, dude. I'm so sorry.
He is a monster, you know?
I mean,
And he said,
at least tell me he didn't spray you.
No, he's a gentleman.
Oh, thank God.
And when I told Bugs Bunny...
I thought you went through some serious trauma.
When I told Bugs and Daffy about it, they just denied it. They said, no, you must have seen things differently.
Really? I expected more from Bugs. I thought he was progressive.
Bugs Bunny is a rape apologist.
I mean, quite frankly, like, I was speaking to Yosemite Sam about the whole ordeal, and I don't know, he was just all wishy-washy on it. Like, on the one end, he was on her side, on the other end, like...
He's like... And he was talking about the way I was dressed.
Yeah, he's talking about, like... I remember, like, I was like, you really think Jack was asking for it? And he was like, absolutely!
Honestly, the person that surprised me the most, was Yosemite Sam. Which you'd think he'd be the most racist, because he's like a guy from the South and whatever. But
no, he was pretty racist.
But he's still woke about rape culture.
Yeah, he's pretty woke about rape culture.
He does, for some reason.
I mean, he was at least... His response was certainly better than,
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, Elmer Fudd. He didn't have
You're running out of Looney Tunes characters in your lexicon.
I was going to say, I don't know, what other... Yeah, I mean, Sylvester.
Tweety. There's Roadrunner. There's, what's the name of that heart? I used to love the Looney Tunes. So I fucking... Tweety Bird. There's,
Roadrunner.
Tasmanian Devil.
Oh, I mean, it's probably better than what fucking,
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn had to say.
Well! I say, you take off your clothes, damn it!
I say, if you're wearing it, you're asking for it.
I say, the loose. No, what's that fucking rape? Damn it!
What's that rape phrase?
What's that rape? No, there's like
what's
a rape.
What's that rape phrase?
Oh, it's the looser the heels, the looser she feels.
Jesus,
you've ever heard that one?
I say, yeah, from the great Foghorn Leghorn, right?
Yeah, of course, he's made that up.
It's funny that like. Foghorn Leghorn, like, I don't think they even need to cancel him. I think it goes without saying.
He's
like,
a racist dude.
No, I mean, he's just like, he's a black chicken. Like, that's what he is. He's just like, well, I'll say,
you can't. He's like but not only black, he's like a 1960s, like, soulful kind of black. Like,
yeah.
He's like, he's like, you go way back, you find,
I mean, yeah, like, literally, like, he just, like, embodies, like, when people talk about, like, stereotyping.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he is. And it's when you're a kid, you don't realize it.
No, I never thought about his race at all.
Yeah, when I watched Foghorn Leghorn, I didn't realize, because, I didn't grow up, like, knowing that stereotype.
Right.
So I'm just like, yeah, this chicken talks kind of goofy. But then, like, when you get older and you see it, you're like, oh, wow. Like, he fucking sounds
I didn't even think about that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's true, but it's like, kids are the people that watch Looney Tunes, or stoned adults. And
yes, I mean,
neither one of those groups give a shit.
I mean, and the truth is, it's like if you watch the Looney Tunes, they were all fucked up. I mean, there's one scene where Bugs Bunny's like playing the piano on stage, and like he keeps trying to start, and this guy's like coughing. Like he goes to start, and the guy's like, and he's like, and he like looks at him, and then he goes back, start again. The guy coughs again. Bugs Bunny pulls out a gun.
Yeah.
And shoots the guy directly in the crowd. Puts it back in. And it was hilarious.
No,
I mean, that's the thing is it is funny, but it's like...
It's violent.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like cartoons were just different. Like,
oh yeah, Tom and Jerry was violent as fuck.
What people considered silly and, tongue-in-cheek was different back then.
Oh yeah.
Like the idea of like, somebody coughing through your set, so you literally shoot them in the face. Like,
but that's funny.
It sounds morbid, but it's kind of we all have that feeling where it's like
we want to do that.
Yeah, like, right. Like you've been doing comedy, and I'm guilty of this because I cough all the time. But you've been doing comedy where you're like in the middle of a setup, and like you're about to get to the punchline, and somebody in the crowd just like, and it's like you literally just want to like take the mic stand and just jam it directly into their fucking jaw. Like,
yeah, exactly. I'll usually say something like, I hope that was lung cancer, or something like that.
Yeah, right. Or like, oh, somebody's got COVID over there. Like,
By the way, a quick aside before I forget. If you ever hear somebody use the phrase, the looser the heels, the looser she feels, call the police.
Yeah.
A immediately call the police.
I was going to say, the fact that you even know that phrase offhand is upsetting to me.
I heard that on a TV show once.
Oh, yeah, sure. No, I was watching it on TV. That's totally weird.
No, the thing is, though...
It's like, yeah, so, this great... philosopher Jack Siegel invented the phrase.
It was a Confucius phrase, actually. The thing is, the TV show that they were saying, the character that said that phrase, he was like, it's like three friends were at a club, right? And they were trying to pick up girls, and this guy's like giving his friends advice. So he's like, you go after the drunk girls, because the looser the heels, the looser she feels. They're like, you're the coolest guy.
Yeah,
they're like, no, he's not. What are you talking about? This guy's a rapist.
All the characters are like, wow, man, you're awesome. Can I get your autograph?
What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is fucking crazy. I mean, a lot of it is like, I mean, I'm sure like everybody has already recognized this, but like, you watch Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I like about high school girls.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
and we all thought that guy was the man.
He literally says, like, if you take away Matthew McConaughey, this is what he says. That's what I like about high school girls. I keep getting older. They stay the same age.
Yeah.
That means he keeps getting older. And the
16-year-old
older he gets,
girls.
the more high school girls he takes advantage of.
Yeah.
And that was just funny.
Well, it's also the
and
fact
cool
that
back then. Like,
even,
it's not now, but like, I mean...
Did you ever watch Waiting? The same thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Which is a hilarious comedy, by the way. And if you've ever worked in a restaurant or a catering hall like I have, it's honestly... It's like a stupid comedy, but it's funny because it's one of... out of all the movies I've seen, that is the one that gets, like, the restaurant life the most accurate. Like, I'm like, holy shit. I feel like that's literally it was literally the same exact experience.
Damn.
But Ryan Reynolds' character keeps trying to fuck, like, this 17-year-old hostess throughout the whole movie. And you're like, this guy's cool.
When you're like, wow, what a sly dude. He's a killer.
Because it's like Ryan Reynolds, like... If you got, like, a creepy guy to play that, it wouldn't work the same way. But it's, like, the fact that you get Ryan Reynolds, people are like, oh, I want to be like this guy. He's cool.
Yeah, or even it's like, yeah, you know what? The relationship is kind of cute. It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's
like,
horrible.
It's predatory.
Well, it's weird, you know, so when people talk about, like, you know, the cancel culture, even though, like, you're right, it's a word that's lost all its meaning, people should take into consideration that things were seen in a completely different light. And it's like...
I mean, it was just different people at the time watching it. Like,
different
there
audience.
was like it was a wholly different audience. Like, most of us didn't exist. Or actually, pretty much anybody who was complaining about it didn't exist. And the people who were alive at the time were just fine with it. And it's like, that's the definition of, like, times change. Like, it was that was then, this is now. And it's like, I don't think you could blame then for... Yeah, you can blame the past for things, but, like, I mean, something like What Was Funny...
Pointless, though.
Something like What Was Funny is totally and completely, like, dictated by the context of the times. Like, you can't blame me for laughing at something that's funny because of the world around me.
No.
Like, you know, if the world changes, it may not be funny anymore.
And the things will get outdated. I mean... I remember when I was in the, like, the history of television class, which was, like, my favorite class ever, because it was a class about television. Anyway, in college, we watched this episode of Milton Berle, who was basically, like, the Colbert or Fallon of the day. And he, like, was doing his opening monologues, and he was like, so I was walking past a couple of wetbacks the other day.
Oh, shit.
And, like, this was, like, filmed in 1957, and the audience was cracking up. And it's like, yeah, if we saw it today, people, that's fucking horrible and racist and whatever. But it's like, this was also 1957. It's like, what are you going to do? Milton Berle can't work anymore? He's dead.
Yeah,
He's been dead for like 20 years.
It's like, listen, if you watch Milton Berle, you're racist. It's like, well, there goes all 4 people in America who watch Milton Berle.
Honestly, they probably are, because most the people that watch Milton Berle are over 90 years old, and there's a chance they're racist.
I mean, and that's the thing, like, getting back to the royal family.
Yes.
I just don't see... Because here's the thing, just for a little contextualization.
Yeah, let's go.
For those of you who don't know,
the whole thing.
Basically, like, the royal family has a pretty, like, you know, kind of interesting history with how the media treats them and looks at them. And, like, basically, according to certain news sources, Meghan Markle has been treated very poorly by, like, the British tabloid news, and, like, They're always shitting
Which
on
media
her.
sources?
Vox, the one you sent me. And then,
I didn't read that article.
But, like, you know, like, she gets shit on by them, and then, like, the royal family doesn't really respect her because, I mean, she's not fully white, and, like, you know, she's an outsider. Like, she had a whole life and career before she even married, what's his name?
Harry.
And
Yeah, she was an actress.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's like,
Suits.
so she's like an outsider coming into the family, and they kind of resent her for it, and she's also like more popular than most of them. So,
Oh yeah, people know who she is.
yeah, they like resent her for that, and then like, whatever, they're going through all this shit, and like, apparently, she's like, you know, her and Harry's son, like, the royal family and like the police that protect them are like, yeah, we're not giving your son like
Royal
the
title.
same like royal treatments, benefits, or protection.
Well,
and
they
it's like
refuse to make him
mostly
a prince because
What?
they refuse to make him a prince.
Yeah, because
of the color of his skin.
yeah, because he's black, or at least
part black.
part like he could be
No,
the
she's
one.
half black.
Like,
herself.
what if he was born and he was just like fully white? He's like, what the fuck? I'm white.
Well,
like,
first, Meghan Markle is half black.
yeah.
And so he's a quarter black.
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna look that black when I mean, he might, but like,
What I was thinking is like, dude, you've been inbreeding for 15 centuries. You should be more worried about whether a kid has like webbed feet or 15 different noses.
yeah, right. I mean, you should be worried. You should be more.
You should not be worried about the kid's skin.
Yeah, like you shouldn't be worried about skin color. You should be worried about Down syndrome.
Yeah, you should be worried about whether or not your kid's gonna be a fucking cyclops.
You should be. Yeah, you gotta be worried about like. You gotta be worried about whether or not your kid is gonna understand what numbers are. Like, I mean, the fact is, like, yeah, obviously she's the victim in this situation. But here's my thing, like, she's still just some rich cunt. Like, who cares? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, boo-hoo, you married royalty and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
Oh no, like, oh shit, I'm so sad for Meghan Markle. This rich cunt who married this millionaire who went a step up and married a literal prince.
Yeah.
It didn't go too
She's a
well.
she's a princess. She's a literal princess.
Poor little princess. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't want this. Should have just been a normal human being. Like,
I'm kind of on the same wavelength. First, I mean, the thing is like, yeah, I empathize, I sympathize with her greatly, and I do feel bad for her, because as somebody who struggles with depression and mental health problems, when she was, I was like,
yeah, but you struggle with depression and mental health problems without millions of dollars and without being married to a prince.
That's true, too.
So fuck her. She's like, I thought about suicide. It's like, eat a dick! You're married to royalty and you're about millions!
And also, you're, like, smoking hot.
Yeah, like, you're banging. Like,
you are fucking better looking than any of the other royals.
I literally
maybe besides from Kate Middleton a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hate when celebrities do that, because obviously it's not that celebrities can't be suicidal. Like, there's celebrities who have killed themselves. But, like you had, like, Ronda Rousey going Ellen after the first time she lost to Holly Holm. She's like, I was so upset. I was thinking of, like, killing myself right on the mat. It's like, bitch, you can't lose a fight? Like, fucking calm the fuck down.
Isn't
like,
most of sports losing?
Yeah, right? It's like, it's not that heavy. Like,
you're going to lose more than you win in any sport. That's part of success. In baseball, if you get a hit, if you get on base 3 out of 10 times, that's great. Like, you're really fucking good. You're better than most of them.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can learn to fail, first of all, how did you get that far to begin with?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's the thing. Is like, if you can call yourself the best fighter or like one of the best fighters and not be able to lose one fight without feeling suicidal, you're not fit to fight.
Exactly. You like she's you know, a huge celebrity and everything.
But
like,
that's the thing. Is like, I mean, if you marry a royal family that has literally been inbred consistent white supremacy for thousands of years, almost, like,
right,
or like 1,000 years, like hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't know how long.
I think it's thousands.
Probably thousands for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, why are they so rejective to me?
Why
it's
are
like,
they so racist?
It's like, because you're just like, the fact is, like, you're just trying to marry into them, and like, yeah, that doesn't excuse them being racist, but like, why would you be surprised? Like,
dude, I was saying this to you. The royal family is the literal embodiment of white supremacy.
right? It's
like
if I were a half black woman and the Prince of England was like, "Hey, you want to go out?" I'd be like, "Fuck
you."
That your family probably hung my family in the past. Like,
England is responsible for most of the horrible atrocities that have ever occurred throughout history.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has been due to the British Empire and colonizing people. And that's all because of the royal family.
Yeah.
They enslaved people. They slaughtered people. They viewed themselves as better because they are white and
quite
British.
frankly, they only exist now because of tradition.
And it's
because British people just want to have crumpets and tea,
but it's like,
and a king and a queen.
So it's like you're really surprised that these people are racist. But it's also, I mean, here's what so to like give a little bit of a different, like to be on her side, I don't know. What really annoyed me, I mean, when I saw the interview and she was like, the help at the Buckingham Palace has racist nicknames for me. I like, that's really fucked up. Because it's like, that shows to me what racism is, is the fact that even if you're on a completely different social and economic status, like even if the person is a literal princess and you're a fucking maid, they still view themselves as better than you. And
they can still call you the N-word and shit.
And it's like, that really pissed me off. Because I was like, fold the fucking sheets, maid.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is like, but the thing that Meghan Markle's like, she's complaining like, they have all these racist nicknames for me. It's like, yeah, you're the princess. Send him to the fucking dungeon.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, for fuck's sake, you're a monarch. Like, tell them to fucking shut up. Tell them they're not allowed to speak.
Yeah.
They don't have freedom. Tell them they're not allowed to speak. Like,
well, it's funny here because, and like I was talking to my sister about this day, and like one thing that was funny was how weird, or just not necessarily funny, but kind of pathetic.
Like if I was a prince, I hate to interrupt you, but if I was a prince. And somebody was like, "Yeah, Guinea," I'd be like, "What's that?" Okay, we're killing him. No, he's dying. No, sorry, no, I'm a Guinea, so guess I'm gonna have to be a big mobster over here. Like, literally, I would like, if I was royalty, I'd be the worst. I would kill anybody the second they said shit.
And it wouldn't even be it wouldn't be like chopping off the head. It would be like a slow,
yeah, it'd be like a knife in the dick, and then like let you bleed out type of thing. And it'd be fucked up. I mean,
crucifixion.
Yeah, and the fact is, it's like, I don't know, this royal family sounds like a bunch of pussies. Like, it's just like, if you're gonna have a monarchy,
get out of the kitchen.
Don't have a shitty little paper mache monarchy. Go all the way.
Well, it's like, I was talking to my sister about it, and what I was saying was, Americans, it's interesting how we've taken our culture war that we have at home, and we've just now put it on England.
Yeah, now we're like, okay, it's time for us to talk about Meghan and Harry. It's like, okay, this is not even our business now. Like, we're literally...
We're such Americans, though, that, like, we have to just insert our own bullshit.
See, that's the thing. I was reading that Vox article you sent me, and to be honest, like, whoever wrote that Vox article is the worst person alive.
Let's find out their name.
Literally, like, they fucking, like, there was, like, one point where she's, like, Meghan Markle sitting down with Oprah for an interview is such a classic Hollywood move. Ugh. It's like,
it's weird that Democrats
like what are we dick riding Hollywood again? Like, weren't they rapists 2 years ago? Like, why are we dick riding Hollywood again?
Well, it's not even it's the fact that the same people. Oh, Constance Grady. All right, that's the name of the woman.
All right, if your first name is Constance, you can kill yourself.
She's a constant cunt.
Constant stream of bullshit.
So, like, it's not even Hollywood for me. What it is weird that the same people...
It's just one example. But
no, I know. Sorry, I don't mean to diminish your point. What I'm trying to say is, though, it's weird that the same people that have been, like, for years saying, eat the rich, and the rich are evil, and now all of a sudden their biggest concerns are Meghan Markle, Paris Hilton, and Britney Spears.
Yeah, it's like you guys wheeled a guillotine. What? It's like we wheeled a guillotine to Jeff Bezos' house a year ago, and now like your biggest concern is the well-being of a princess.
And it's also, and to be fair, to do the both sides, the conservatives are just as full of shit because the same people that called people that were reading in high school faggots are now concerned about a bunch of books they never heard of no longer being published.
Yeah, well, that's...
So, come on. Everybody's a fucking idiot.
It goes everywhere.
You know?
It goes everywhere. But it's like the thing with the royal family.
Yeah, let's stick with the royal family.
I would literally, like... I would, if I met a British person from Britain, I would look at them in the eye and be like, listen, you're stupid for still having a king and queen. I'm sorry. I would just be like, Parliament does everything. You guys are stupid, and until you get rid of it, I don't respect your country, and I'm quite frankly racist towards you.
Well, I mean,
I'm just going to be honest. I am racist towards British people until they get rid of the king and queen. Until they get rid of that bullshit, I am literally racist towards British people.
What I found
I'm saying it. That's it. I'm saying it.
You hate British. We got it.
Yeah,
no more British.
No more British people on Podcast Orange.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, so go back to England.
I'm just kidding. I'm sure.
Abe's not been on this. Well, he's from Ireland.
Abe, yeah. Yeah, Abe's from Ireland.
That's the closest thing we have
Abe's
to a British.
Abe's from one of the countries that hates Britain even more than me. Like,
that's the closest thing we have to a British friend, though, is Abe, honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, even that's like an insult.
That's no, he hates British people, probably. But,
well, not him, but Irish people.
So, like, I don't know, man. The whole thing that's weird is that, do you know about the whole situation with Piers Morgan? You know who Piers Morgan is?
Yeah, I mean, how could I not know who that fucking slime bag is?
Okay, so, like, for those of you at home who don't know, Piers Morgan is, like, this British media, anchor, whatever.
Yeah, who basically fled Britain on criminal charges, came to the U.S. and started a shit show.
To replace Larry King originally.
Yeah.
And when Larry King left CNN, when CNN fired Larry King, they brought in this guy, Piers Morgan, to replace him. His show bombed. After a couple of years, they gave him the boot. Now he's back in England hosting, like, some Today Show type thing.
Yeah, it's like, how are you even back? Like, what the fuck?
Well, the thing is, this guy, to be honest, I kind of like this guy. Let me explain. I think this guy's an asshole, but I kind of like the fact that this guy just has this opinion that's very unpopular. And when people are like, we don't like that, he's like, yeah, go fuck yourself. I kind of like just that.
But realistically, the same exact thing is done by Alex Jones. It's like...
Okay, true. Fair.
It's like...
Fair enough.
I guess, like, you could say you might sympathize more with... Like, Piers Morgan might say something that doesn't sound like complete bumbling bullshit.
Well, it's also because he's British and they sound smarter than we do.
I remember
these people are damn.
One time, Alex Jones did go on Piers Morgan, and they were, like, arguing gun control, and it's... hilarious.
Two idiots yelling at each other.
It's literally one of the first times I ever saw Alex Jones, and it was like the start of a beautiful comedic relationship with me and him, because I just remember watching this on the news. Like, my dad just had it on, and like this guy was literally just like, if you take our guns away, we're gonna storm. The American people are gonna come back if you take our guns. Like, he's fucking like.
He's
veiny,
foaming at the mouth.
Foaming, like, eyes searing red. And Piers Morgan just trying to, like, interject, like, that is that, like...
Yeah.
And I'm, like, watching, I'm like...
It's too...
I know this guy's an idiot, but I love him. I love the idea of it.
Well, he's entertaining.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like... And it's just watching two idiots yell at each other.
Exactly.
It's great entertainment.
Whereas Piers Morgan just annoys me. Alex Jones...
He's not fun.
Yeah, like, there's nothing, like... I would never want to watch... Pierce Morgan on Joe Rogan.
Right.
I would want to watch Alex Jones on Joe Rogan every time, though.
Well, it's like Alex Jones has the same appeal of like a good trashy reality television show where it's just fun and stupid, but entertaining.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, The Apprentice is not bad. Like, have you ever watched it? It's a pretty decent show.
I'm not trying to say it's like bad. What I'm trying to say is it's like a fun. Okay, it is stupid though.
Yeah, no, they're all stupid.
But
all reality TV is stupid.
But it's fun nonetheless. Yeah. I mean, some of them are. But like
they're all just like they're the type of thing you watch if you're like either like with like a bunch of like friends and you're all just drunk and there's like nothing on TV and then you flick it on and it's like, oh, like whatever's on, like whatever reality show. It's like, why not? Or you could just...
Some of those shows are entertaining though, like a 90 Day Fiance.
I was going to say the other thing is if you're with a girl, because like women seem to love reality TV. Like, love it.
Even like hardcore feminists, like people are like all about... They love the Real Housewives. It's interesting. It's a weird paradox. Or the
Bachelor.
That was what I was about to say.
Which I think is even weirder.
Like, that is the most like massage. We're talking about like the most degrading to women.
I mean,
show.
the Bachelor. Well, the Bachelor is pretty degrading, but the Bachelorette is weird. It's the opposite.
Well, but it's one girl, right?
Yeah, that shit is like, because to me it's like, It's literally like with The Bachelor, you're like, all right, yeah, this is pretty degrading. Like, all these women are fighting over this guy. This guy is literally an empty, hollow shell of a man with no soul.
He's not even that good looking. He's like kind of handsome.
He's like probably not that good looking. He's like an asshole. He has nothing to him.
He usually has a beard.
Yeah, it's literally you're watching a show where women fawn over a loser, and you're like, this is disgusting. But then The Bachelorette, the whole time, it's like the show is walking a tightrope between turning into like an insanely violent porno and just being the weirdest, like most awkward.
That makes me want to watch it.
Because the thing is, it's like
I now I'm like really.
It's
intrigued.
literally like a room full of like beefed up dudes with like muscles, and they're like, "Oh my god, we all how are we doing?" Like, you know, and she's like, "Hi boys," and it's just like, dude,
it's
like,
just so it's too much testosterone.
Yeah, you're literally like, "Am I on? Like, are we sure we're not watching this on Pornhub?" You know what I mean? It's like,
well, you're like worried for this girl's safety.
That's the thing. Like, when you watch The Bachelor, you're like, this dude's an asshole. When you watch The Bachelorette, you're like, I really hope that her hotel room is on like a separate island from theirs.
Because you're talking about like 20 insanely horny men.
Yeah, who are literally like, there's no other women, and they're competing. For this chick.
Because you have to be a loser. Because it's like the relationships obviously never actually work out. They're not like... Most of the time they don't like...
I mean, I won't say every time, but yeah, most of the time they're all
they're
all publicity stunts. They might get into a relationship and then break up, and then they both have millions of social media followers anyway after. You know what I mean? It doesn't even do it, but it matters nothing. Like,
I know there are reality shows that are fun to watch. The 2000s to early to mid 2000s was a time of experimental trash. I don't know if you remember the worst reality television show of all time, or at least the most just fucked up, controversial one. Did you ever hear a show called The Swan?
No.
It was on WB for like...
You may have told me about it, but I forgot.
It was on WB before it was the CW for like 1 year in like 2005 or whatever. And it was a show in which all these ugly women, it was like a process where they would get plastic surgery and they would become like, they're the ugly ducklings. At the end of the show, you'd find out they become a beautiful swan.
Oh, God.
So naturally, the show did not do well. People were fucking pissed.
Yeah, people were just like, wow, like, I think I want to kill myself.
People were watching it, like, are you actually fucking serious right now?
Yeah, it's like, dude, like...
I loved my favorite reality show to watch, like, my guilty pleasure was Trading Spouses when it was on.
I never
love that show.
I never even heard of these. Like,
Trading Spouses, I know, I'm going old school, but Trading Spouses was exactly that. It was like a family, two families. I'm like, all right, from now on, we have a new mom for a month. Like the other family's like, we're getting this family's mom. And it's it's so stupid. It's great because it's just like sometimes they would get you'd think, oh, this person seems normal, and this woman just turns into a crazy bitch. Yeah. And then the kids are like, I miss my old mom.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, can I please have my mom back? Why are you doing this to us?
I don't like that.
And then meanwhile, Dad just counting the money from MTV. Like,
I always just think with these it's like, who does this?
I mean, it's literally just like, it's just American entertainment decadence. Like,
yeah.
I mean, any of it. Like,
it just
some of them are fun.
Want attention. No, I'm talking about like the people that appear on that show.
Well, yeah, the people who go on, like anybody who like, hello MTV. I think it'd be perfect for the real world. It's like, why would you do that to yourself?
You're not perfect for the actual real world.
Yeah, you're not perfect for the world you're in. You're signing up to be embarrassed on TV.
World. Like, dude, that's the thing is that like when we were talking to Dom, I realized like how young people are because like when we were talking about like the real world and shit from like 2000s and 90s, he looked at us like we're like a different. I was like, you don't know what the real world.
I mean, yeah, like that's the thing is like you forget that like that shit still seems new to us because we were kids when it came out. But it is so not new. Like now, like I mean, I remember like watching like MTV Cribs just on TV. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know. Do they have that anymore? Like is
MTV
that a thing?
On TV?
MTV is on TV, but do they have Cribs anymore? Like,
probably not.
Yeah, right. Like
I've been getting into old. I even wanted to get your opinion on it, which we'll talk about. But I've been watching old episodes of the most random thing, the Tom Green Show.
Oh, Tom Green.
And it's like, I didn't realize how influential this guy was.
I mean, no, his show I've heard is really good, but Freddy Got Fingered is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
See, I'm on the opposite camp. I know it's one of those movies that's like so polarizing, and it's like it's a cult movie.
Yeah.
And sometimes movies I fall into the cult, and other times I'm like, I think it's stupid. I love that movie. I fucking love Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the other end. I'm in the fucking stupid
There's
category.
so many moments when I watch that movie that I'm like, this is amazing. Because it's like...
Is it though? Like...
It's just like... I don't know.
I
We would have to honestly do like a live stream of this to really get into it.
I mean, it's just like, I remember watching it and thinking like it's just like boring, man. Like after a while, I'm like, there's only so much yelling and grossness and like stupid ass shit
but it's not
that I can take.
That's the thing
I'm like falling asleep. I'm like, I'm bored with this movie.
But this thing is like Tom Green.
It's like too over the top. It gets so over the top that it loses its edge and becomes boring.
Okay, so I always thought that was the point of it. For me, Tom Green, I always thought was like this Andy Kaufman type performance artist, where that movie was like a form of performance art, where he was like, I want to make the most disgusting, offensive, gross out movie ever.
Well, I mean, if that was the goal, he succeeded.
And it's like,
if the goal was, I want to make the most disgusting, offensive movie ever and have it be good.
All right, yeah, that's true.
But like, you know what? Like, I respect.
There's funny moments though, just the way he said. Like, there's a scene at the beginning when, like, you remember the beginning scene when their parents give Freddy the LeBaron, and he's like, I got a new car, and his son's like, he's like, oh, it says #1 son on the license plate, and his brother's like, well, I what about me? I'm the #1 son too, and he's like, and the parents are like, yeah, we love you just as much. He's like, I don't think so, Freddy. Where's your LeBaron? I only see one LeBaron here. I don't think... there's just moments that make me laugh.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty funny. I'm not saying it. I haven't watched it in years. I mean, you know, like, it's been a long time. Because when I watched it, I hated it, so I never watched it again. But, I don't know. Maybe it might hit different.
It's a good rewatch.
Maybe with, like,
there were some hipsters that...
buy, like, a pack of cigarettes and a 40 and just watch it.
See, the thing about that movie, though, it's been corrupted by hipsters. And so, the problem is that when I say I love that movie, I feel like I'm sounding too much like a hipster.
Yeah, like you say you love that movie, and then 5 dudes with like thick-rimmed sunglasses, full beards, and flannel shirts just like float over to you, like, oh my god, so do we.
I'm like, oh fuck, because Vice wrote an article saying like it's a masterpiece, and I'm like, fuck.
Do you see why I hate Vice? Like,
I know.
God damn it, like.
But that's the thing. I was like, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
True.
And
I mean, look, I won't shit on it, but yeah, I definitely respect Tom Green as a comedic entity.
Without Tom Green, there would be no Eric Andre. There would be like no Adult Swim.
I mean, yeah, like I respect him as an entity and his influence. I mean, I do not think Freddy Got Fingered is good, but I'll have to check it out again. But
we'll do a rewatch one of these.
I think the point is.
Let's circle back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We got off.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think the point is. Tom Green should
marry Meghan Markle.
I was gonna say fuck the Queen of England.
Oh, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
He married Drew Barrymore.
Could you imagine? My coworker and I were joking about this. Could you imagine if the Queen of England made you her like sugar baby?
You're just like, get the thing for me.
It's like, go get me some tea. It's like, yes, mama.
Whatever you say.
And then you just like get to fuck a really old lady and get free shit.
She's got her saggy ass titties.
Where you just like watch her. It's like, all right, just sign and notarize your will, leaving everything to me.
And then
that's fine. I'll fuck a saggy vagina until it's dead if I'm getting that money.
I'm getting a fucking palace.
Yeah, right? Like, I'm literally getting a royal palace.
Dude.
I'll have sex with a 90-year-old for that. Like,
yeah. I'll fuck her till she dies.
Yeah, no, I'll fuck her while she's dying and after she's dead.
Honestly, that'd be a good way to go out. If she asks me. I always wanted to die being fucked by a young American.
I always wanted to have a young American male with hairy arms.
Imagine as she dies, what if, like, as somebody dies, you come into them? Does their cum then just be like...
Could you imagine, like, you died and you impregnated an egg while she was, like, still, like...
dying?
Sort of alive, and then, like, the egg's like, alright, we're doing it. And then, like, the light shut off and the egg's like...
The fuck?
What's going on? I was ready. What?
Like, we have...
Guys?
Like, we have a miscommunication on our part.
Yeah, it's like you impregnated the egg right before her body actually died, and the egg's like, perfect, like, I've been waiting for this.
I'm waiting for this.
Alright, time to become a human being. Why is it dark in here?
And then you just
Why
hear
haven't I zygoted?
And then you hear the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song.
Yeah.
But, so, okay, let me explain the whole, like, Piers Morgan situation, because I didn't know about this. It's actually kind of an interesting story a little bit. So the guy was, like, he apparently hates Meghan Markle. Like, he doesn't just, like...
Really?
He fucking hates her. Because I was reading, like, an article about, like, their past, and he said some things about her that I'm like, holy shit.
Like what?
He said, like... She's a like, I'm just paraphrasing, like, she's a diabolical, like, selfish, spoiled, rotten child. And
Jesus.
And apparently, so what I found out about it is, like, where does all this come from? Because obviously, and I found out there's, like, a personal beef, that he was friends with this lady, Meghan Markle, and she apparently, according to him, she used him to, like, meet more important people, including the Queen, including Prince Harry. And once she met the royal family, she like cut him and all of his friends off, so he kind of feels like snubbed by her.
I mean, here's the thing: even if that's true,
it's like,
I don't blame her. I would do that to Piers Morgan.
Yeah,
Fuck Piers Morgan.
You mean I don't have to hang out with you anymore?
It's like, you mean I don't have to hang out with a weird old British man with gray hair? Like, oh, okay. Like,
He looks like if Colin Firth like chain smoked for 10 years. He's like, yeah, no. I mean, I feel like the guy's like a loser. Like what? So some friend decided to like just tell him to fuck off.
Honestly, it just sounds like he wants to fuck her.
Yeah,
He's just like, she's a spoiled, rotten bitch,
and she wouldn't even suck my cock.
Yeah, it's like, how dare she not fucking sit on my face?
Well, he was like trashing her after the interview, and what he said about her was like what she said was that she was suicidal and that she tried to go to the Queen and everybody else for help with her mental health, and they said like, fuck off, we don't want to, they denied her treatment. So what he was saying was he doesn't believe that's true, that they denied her treatment. But, like, Twitter took what he was saying as saying he doesn't believe that she was suicidal.
Oh.
So Twitter was giving this guy, like, tons of shit. Apparently the channel that broadcast his show on England got 41,000 complaints from the FCC.
Holy shit.
So, it's weird to me.
Dude, every time you, like, I don't know if this is true. I remember this from Family Guy. But supposedly... Every time this might not be true, but they said in Family Guy that, like, every time you get one complaint, or something from the FCC, it's like 1,000 people or something. So if you get 20 complaints, that means 20,000 people were upset. So you said they got 40,000 complaints.
So like 500,000 people.
Holy shit! Like I said, don't fact check me on that. I don't know if that's true, but if that's true,
it means 500,000 people were like, "Fuck."
Yeah, literally 500,000 people were like, "You are a fucking asshole."
So at that point, well, then the next day he was on his show, right, and like he has like co-hosts or whatever. And he was going off about Meghan or saying like she won't fuck me or whatever. And
he's like she won't fuck me. She'll fuck Harry the fag, but she won't fuck a good guy like Piers Morgan.
And they'll be like, Piers, we're on the air, right?
Yeah, it's like Piers, like he's like, I know you cunt. It's like, okay. Like,
what does that have to do with anything? So anyway, this guy was like basically calling him out on his shit. He was like, listen, you're like, you trash her nonstop, and why? Because she decided she don't want to be friends with you anymore. Like, grow up. He said this to her. And Piers Morgan stormed off the set and live broadcast. He's like, I don't have to do this.
Wait, who was on?
He was like his co-host on like the Good Morning.
And he literally said like, I think Piers, like, I hate to do this, but like, I think you make fun of Meghan like too much.
Yeah, he was like, I know you don't like her, but I think he said like it's Here the thing was funny. It shows how different England is. He said like the way you talk about her is diabolical, and then Piers Morgan stormed off set. And he's like, I don't like being called diabolical. Yeah, and most people in America are like, we don't even know what that fucking word means.
Yeah, right. Like, people in America are like, diabolical. Ooh. Ooh, what do I get? Do I have a cape? Like,
dude, if somebody called me diabolical, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, I'd be like, wow, I must have like laser eyes or something.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
It's like, I have a diabolical plan.
I've been called a lot of things, never diabolical.
And that's the thing, yeah, England is very different. Like, I mean, in England, like, just the fact that your co-host even has that much power. Like, could you imagine if, like, you were watching, like, Letterman, and, like, the bald dude just got up and he's like, hey, you know, Dave, like, I think you were a real dick to that last guest.
You need to...
He'd literally be like, sit the fuck down. What are you doing? Like,
yeah. They're very honest with each other. Like, if you ever watch footage of Parliament, people will legit, like, just curse at each other. You'd be like, this is fucking bullocks here.
Like, shit, okay.
I kind of wish you brought that to the United States.
Yeah, right, that kind of energy. Maybe we'd be a little less at our throats if politicians
if we were just more honest and shit.
Yeah.
But the other thing that this taught me, and it's not just Piers Morgan, is that there's so many people in England, and it's interesting because
who are gay now.
They all love cock.
Probably.
It's a statistical fact. But, like, we tend to think of, like, we always think of the royal family as fuck the royal family. Not all of us, but we're like, fuck those people.
Well, I mean, we're just kind of like, to us, that's stupid.
Right.
Like, we literally revolted against them to avoid that, and now it's like, it's 500 years later, and they're still on it.
Right,
it's
and
like,
they don't have any real power. But we don't think of, like, England. There's a lot of people in England who love the Queen and have this, like, who love the royal family.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's so dumb.
Well, they have this, like, including Piers Morgan, they have this, like, patriotic, like, I'm proud of having the royal family. It's like, dude, they don't have any power. Prince Harry can't declare war or raise taxes.
I mean, it's just weird
to
say, like, I take pride in the tradition of giving a random family, like, billions of dollars and all the power in the world. It's like, yeah, I know they don't have real power, but it's like, you give them a level of authority and, like, symbolic power, and you give them riches, and it's like, why? Like, what do these people do to deserve this? Like,
they don't even
birthright?
Need it.
Like,
they don't even need a coup. They have a literal fucking prime minister and a government.
Yeah, like, you have people who really work their asses off, who probably deserve more praise than anybody in that family.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you're too busy worried about, like, fucking
made up
Meghan
shit.
Markle.
Dude, they're literally like, it's like a bunch of kids playing dress up. It's like a bunch of kids dressing up for like Prince
Honestly,
Harry.
It's the English Kardashians.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's the English version of like our king and queen is basically what was the Kardashians before it ended. But like that was basically that. Like Kim Kardashian, the most relevant woman in America for like over a decade, and just like one of the most watched reality shows. All this money.
One of the most disliked.
Literally, one of the most infamous reality shows, but still one of the most watched.
Yeah.
And just millions of dollars, but no real merit or like reason as to why they have it.
Yeah.
Or any like
or
deserving
skill,
quality or skill.
Or ability.
And then you look at England and it's like, your king and queen are the same as Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Like, look at yourselves, guys.
Well, Piers Morgan called...
I hate to be racist to you, but your country is dumb. Like, I'm sorry.
It is too... I love it. I'm
sorry.
But the thing is Piers Morgan called Meghan Markle a Kardashian, and he was like...
Did he?
He was like, they're like... He's
okay, Piers, I see you.
But he's like, no, he's like the Markle... He wasn't calling the royal family. He's calling the Markles like a Kardashian, like... I was like...
So they all are. I mean, the fact is, like... They only resent her because she's more popular than them.
Exactly. It's like, dude, if Prince Harry says, I'm no longer a prince, he'll have the exact same amount of power tomorrow as he did today. He can't declare war, he can't raise taxes, he can't do any of the shit that a government or a prime minister can do.
Yeah, right. It's not like, I mean, I was joking before, like, like if her maids are like the truth is, like, yeah, like, Meghan Markle is the victim in this situation. Like, her maids being racist to her is fucked up. And because they don't have any real power, it's not like she can do much about it.
Yeah, she can't, throw her in a pit of fire. And
yeah, like, I mean, the point I think more I'm making is, like...
It's like you're
these
rich.
people are, like, complaining about a life that's, like...
They chose.
First, that, like, you chose. B, represents nothing realistic.
Yeah.
And C, like, you never, like, needed to be in. Like, and it's just, like... People would kill to be in your shoes.
Yeah.
Like, people would kill just to have a house half as big as your palace. And, like, you're fucking whining. Like,
People are
Shut
dying
the
of
fuck up.
COVID-19
I'm
every
so
day.
sick of all these rich assholes being sad.
Yeah, I'm sick
Give
of...
us
I'm
your
sick of
money. How about
Paris
that?
Hilton and Britney Spears and all of her free Britney people out there acting like there's nothing more important than what these rich blonde women are going through.
I know, and it's like, it
So
sucks
annoying.
for Britney, but I mean, like,
Yeah, but it's like...
the
who gives
fact
a
is,
shit?
like,
Why
you could say free Britney, but, like, how about you just go to the literal, like, record company and just be like, hey, you guys have a lot of money, right? Give it.
Yeah, just give all... Well, it's also just like the fact that the New York Times, which is like supposed to be like a prestigious news organization, made a documentary about Britney Spears. It's like, what world are we living in? And the New York Times, in talking about circling back to Pepe Le Pew, one of their writers, Charles Blow, who blows, was the one who wrote the thing about Pepe Le Pew, saying that he wrote on Twitter, unironically, saying that Pepe Le Pew is a perpetuant of rape culture. And that's where it comes from. A guy, like, who gets paid millions of dollars to write his opinion is writing that a cartoon skunk inspires adults to be rapists.
See, that's the thing. I think the
think
dumbest
about
thing, the dumbest thing about Pepe Le Pew is the thought that any man ever watched Pepe Le Pew and said, I should be like that.
Yeah, well, it's
Nobody. Like, nobody sees him as a
Right.
role model. He's a Looney Tunes character. He's just like...
He's not real.
Like,
he's a
do
drawing.
you think that when I watch Wile E. Coyote, I'm like, I should start making traps?
He's like,
It's
I
like,
need to go to the Acme store.
It's like, Elmer Fudd hunts rabbits. I think I could be quite the rabbit hunter. And you know what? Pepe Le Pew grabs women without their permission. I think that looks fun. It's like, nobody
Gives a shit.
nobody that thinks this.
Well, it's also like Pepe Le Pew was also like the most, he was the least important character in the whole show.
Yeah, right.
He was like a minor character.
I've seen Space Jam more than once. I don't even remember his part in the movie.
Dude, it would be like if people watched The Office and then complained about Creed and said like he was the. It's like, dude, he's somewhat in the show, but he's like a minor character.
This is really funny too about that. I was reading I was dying of lung cancer while I was reading an article, or seeing the title of an article on Twitter that was like, basically like saying like Pepe Le Pew is not going to be in the Space Jam sequel that they plan with LeBron,
Right.
and that they had filmed a scene, but not animated, but filmed a scene that got scrapped where LeBron teaches Pepe Le Pew the meaning of the word consent.
I heard about this.
Don't you wish that they fully animated it?
Oh yeah.
Don't you wish you could see that?
I wish that was the whole movie.
Yeah, honestly, like
That would be the only way I would watch it.
Forget Space Jam. Literally forget Space Jam. Just put that on YouTube. It'll go
Instead
viral.
of LeBron James teaching cartoon characters about rape.
It's like, no, Pepe, you gotta understand, man.
I don't understand.
Listen, consent is about what a woman wants. He's like, oh, what are you talking to me about this black man? He's like, oh, Pepe.
Aren't you just a Chinese puppet anyway?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like, aren't you supporting Chinese?
It's like, don't you support human rights atrocities?
Don't you? You get a lot of money from China, even though they throw Muslims in death camps.
It's
They're
like,
gonna be
who are
lecturing
you
me.
to teach me anything about human autonomy?
He's like, oh, you're gonna be lecturing me about rape culture. Why don't you talk to the Uyghur Muslims in those death camps in China, you piece of shit, LeBron? Dude,
yeah,
why
Pepe makes a good point there.
Pepe makes a really good, and it's also like, but from the other side too, some people are like, also stupid where they're like, this is gonna ruin the integrity of Space Jam.
Yeah, right.
Like,
that's the other thing is you have the other end.
Yeah, you have the opposite.
People are so brokenhearted that the reboot of Space Jam is simply not going to contain their all-time favorite Looney Tune character, Pepe Le Pew. Who cares? Like,
whose favorite character? My favorite Looney Tune is Taz. First off, I mean, yeah.
And the thing is, it's truthfully like, this is a really, really slick PR. Really.
Yeah.
Like, you have this article writing, brings the movie to the public's attention because it's about cancel culture now. Everybody's talking about it. I didn't even know they were rebooting Space Jam. Now I know.
Yeah.
All because of this bullshit. Now there's like a chance I might see the movie. It's literally marketing.
It's manufactured.
It's not even... Yeah, it's manufactured outrage designed to get people to see this fucking movie. Like, oh, we took away Lola Bunny's tits, but we left her fat ass. And everyone's like, oh! It's like...
Oh, yeah.
None of you would have known this movie was coming out.
Dude, it's all the same principle of any coverage is good coverage. And it's like they really abide by it. It's like, listen, if we're in the news, if people are talking... It's like, there are some things where, like, if they reboot it and they change something, like, I might be pissed. You know what I mean? Like, if they rebooted The Godfather...
Well, I mean, like, here's the
Kevin
thing.
James play Vito Corleone, I'd be like, yeah, this is stupid.
Well, I mean, if they rebooted Space Jam and they said, yeah, Bugs Bunny can't be in it, I wouldn't care, but I'd also be like...
Well, then why are you rebooting it?
Yeah, I would be like, well, you might as well not make it. Yeah,
Right.
like...
You mean the main character?
You mean the Looney Tune? Like,
the one that everybody thinks of when you talk about the Looney Tunes is not going to be in there.
It's like, well, don't worry, we'll still have Porky Pig. It's like, dude, yeah. Like, there's a limit, but, like, I think it's just getting to a point
just
where...
like Space Jam, man.
Like, I think cancel culture does have it. Like, I'm not going to be... As much as I don't like cancel culture, I think there's a place for it. Like, I think there's a place where it is right to call people out when people are genuinely doing the wrong thing.
Somebody crosses the line, you know?
Not even just crossing the line. Like, I think it's more relevant for somebody like, you know, like D'Elia or, what's his name, Brian Callen, or like people who may have actually hurt somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but like this shit, it's like, you're digging up cartoons that I haven't watched since I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that I have to forget them and that they're bad now, like...
And that I enjoy... and the fact that I like them is bad.
Yeah, and it's like, I am so far beyond this in my life. Like,
Right.
I will not even take the steps to go through the mental changes you want me to. Like, fuck you.
It's also just like, you're trying to make everything we liked in the past bad. And it's like, listen, what I think I've said this, I've said this on a previous episode, but... Nothing is 100% like politically correct. Any movie you make, like 50 years from now, people are gonna find obvious flaws in it. Like this doesn't hold up. This doesn't hold up. It's because society is constantly changing, and the shit we find okay now in 20 years is not gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like a self-defeating purpose to constantly comb over shit to think of things you don't like, and it's like, what are you really accomplishing? Because like if you're and like his honestly, the people that are like about them. They're mostly those people are pretty left leaning, right? Yeah. And if your goal is to win elections, you know, you don't
want to seem insufferable,
right? Because a lot of the reason that people didn't vote for Trump this time around, and the Republicans are like, these people are fucking weird, and I don't like them, and I don't want to be a part of them. Yeah. And if but most people agree with Democrats on the issues of like raising the minimum wage and taking care of the environment. And if you stick to that shit and you actually get that stuff passed, which you can, now they have the presidency and the Senate and the House of Representatives, you're going to go far.
I mean,
but the way they shoot in the foot.
They kind of have the presidency. Biden is a quote-unquote Democrat.
Well, either way, we passed the stimulus bill. That's a huge accomplishment. And it's like, if you keep doing that shit, you're going to do well. But you shoot yourself in the foot when you say stupid shit like Pepe Le Pew. You make people not want to support you even if they already agree with you.
And the thing is, like, those people don't realize, like, those people who call out Pepe Le Pew, they'll be like, excuse me, I am not a liberal, I am a leftist, okay? Yeah. And it's like, yeah, but the mainstream sees the same thing. So exactly. You're, like, hurting any chance you have of making your party succeed. Like, the fact is, like...
It's like, aren't there real things to talk
like,
about?
You're basically saying, oh, I'm not a liberal, I'm a radicalized idiot. It's like, okay, well, whatever. Like, good for you. Like,
I'm not a penis, I'm a dick.
Yeah, right? Like, I mean, in the end of the day, like, it's beating a dead horse, but it's just getting ridiculous. Like, this is the most ridiculous it's gotten.
Yeah.
Where it's like we're talking about...
This is peak stupidity.
People are like, I mean, like the Mr. Potato Head thing. It's like... Kids who play with Mr. Potato Head are simply too young to even, like, notice gender and shit.
Dude, I used to have Mr. Potato Head. I don't know about you, but I used to play with that shit.
Dude, I used to have Mr. Potato Head and put women parts on him. Who cares? Like,
I used to put, like, a face, like... Where I used to put like eyes where the mouth is, and feet where the eyes. Like,
I got Mr. Potato Head has tits on his eyes. That's interesting. Yeah, it's like
because you're a kid, you just play. You
don't
think
like,
about things like
the toys have to directly line up with the ideology. It's like You're taking away the freedom of play.
Yeah.
Like, you're taking away a kid's chance to have a male potato head and put female parts on it. You're saying, no. It has to have no gender because the parts have to be uniform. It's like, fuck you. The kid can make a male Mr. Potato Head with female feet, and you're not letting him. Like, you're taking away imagination and creativity.
That's a great point.
And you're making a boring toy. You're making a potato.
You're actually making it less creative by just making it. You're making it. You're like adding like Mr. Potato Head is like, oh, there's a guy is a potato, whatever. But you're just making it's like
what is it? Potato Head?
It's like you didn't do your homework.
It should literally be called like. Honestly, the new version should be called the Potato.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. It's like you took an interesting creative toy idea and you said, let's just turn it into a potato.
Right.
So here's a potato,
It doesn't have any body parts.
It's just a potato, okay? Have fun with it.
But it's also like, and I know we said this already, but like the thing is the people that like this is supposed to appeal to, the people that like are supposed to be like, oh my god, good for Hasbro. They're not buying Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, right.
They might buy it for their like 5-year-old kid or whatever, but the kid's not gonna give a shit about the gender. They don't care. And they're a fucking kid.
One day the kid's gonna be like, mommy, like potato is cool, but I wonder if there was ever like a Mr. Potato Head. We don't play with those toys, Timmy.
Mr. and Mrs.
And then they just beat the shit out of him.
Like, dude, it's like when I was a kid, I never thought about like race or gender or any of that shit.
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, like, here's the thing. Like, my rule of thumb with like trans stuff is I respect you if you think you're trans, and like I'll acknowledge your identity. But I mean, realistically, you should probably know who you're attracted to sexually before you make that call. I'm just saying, like if you're 5, your parents tell you you're a girl, and they're like, oh, we have to give you some hormones. You're like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm a girl. I'm 5. I'll believe you. Your mom and dad. I'll believe what you say. I guess I am a girl. I'll take these hormones. I'll ruin my dick at a young age. And then you turn 12. Suddenly you realize you want to fuck women.
Yeah, now
and your penis doesn't work right. And it's like, who's to blame other than mom and fucking dad?
Right.
Like, that's the thing, is like, these decisions should not be made until the pubescent age.
Oh,
like,
yeah, at least then.
I mean, for fuck's sake, like, you don't have those identities when you're just a child.
Well, that's what Dr. Deborah So from Harvard or whatever did a bunch of research on it about trans kids, and she found, and she got fired for this study, which is incredibly stupid.
We probably talked about this.
Oh yeah, I think we already have. Actually, fuck it. Anyway, I'll just bring it up anyway.
But I mean, the point is like,
most kids that think they're trans or just turn out to be gay when they're kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the point is like, a trans person would be like, well, what about a trans kid who grew up thinking it was a man and then realized, it's like, yeah, I mean, that stinks.
That's transition's easier,
That stinks, but like, it's easier realistically, like, if you reverse it, the other is going to be more common. Because most people are not trans.
Well, it's also like the thing is, it's like, okay, if you live your whole life and you're living in the wrong gender, you're like, yeah, that sucks. I totally have sympathy. But it's easier than to get the surgery to transition once. Once you transition, you can't transition back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
thing. You can't, you're fucked then. At that point,
it's like, I don't even get it. It's like, the gender has nothing to do with the biology. So why are you getting surgery? Yeah. Why are you even touching your body?
It makes no sense.
It has nothing to do with biology. I mean...
And why are we trying to teach this
why are we changing our potato toys?
Why are we even trying to talk about this incredibly complex subject to kids in the first place?
I mean, the next thing, it's like... Super Mario Bros.
Yeah.
They're not going to be bros. They can't be bros. It can't just be men. It can't just be men jumping on turtles and eating mushrooms to grow double their size.
And why are they Italian?
And flying with wing hats. Yeah,
why are they stereotypes of Italians?
Quite frankly, why are they even white?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Why they're Italians, they have to have mustaches?
Why couldn't it be the Super LaQuisha sisters?
Super LaQuisha?
They just jump on, like, fried chicken.
La Bowser? That would be
La Bowser. But it's just like a really big fat black chick with spikes.
I'm going to take you down.
Oh, Mary, I know you're not trying to take my Mushroom Kingdom, baby.
It's just like...
Oh, child, you think you'll go get Peach back? Oh, that white bitch is mine. Oh, child.
And Peach is also black. So
and that's right, Luigi, you ain't getting Daisy neither. These bitches is mine. We doing our nails today.
Luigi's like, she.
Yeah, Luigi's like, shit, man. I can't believe she do my bitch.
Now you just sound like Zach Zorvin.
Yeah, right. Listen, Blair.
Listen, Blair. I'm just saying, man, you look like you came in there.
Yeah. Listen, Blair, man. You look like a homeless golf caddy or something. Listen, Blair, you look like... It's just like you look like a...
You look like
an adjective...
Plus noun.
Yeah, you look like an adjective plus funny
plus noun. Dude, I don't know. You know what it is though? When you go on social media and you see like trending and you see the story of like Mr. Potato Head, you just know in your head everybody's gonna have an opinion and all of them are gonna be stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I first heard, because that's the thing, like I first saw like on Twitter, it was like trending Mr. Potato, and it was like that. My first thought was just like,
oh, this is gonna suck.
Literally just like, what the fuck? Like,
this
what?
So
like,
stupid.
there's no good reason.
Yeah, there's no,
like,
yeah, exactly. It's just garbage. You know what? We've turned this country into like a fucking like a playground where just two fat like asthmatic kids are like calling each other pussy for like the whole recess period. That's what it's just stupid people yelling at each other about bullshit. That's where we are.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
we're at a point where America has lost any semblance of a unified culture.
Yeah.
We have no
we don't deserve respect.
We have no like across the board list of values that everyone agrees on.
Right.
We have no like feeling of oneness as a country.
Dude, we have a legitimate.
unity.
We have like a certain section of the population that believes that half the population are like lizard cannibal pedophiles.
Yeah, like you have QAnon like people like you have a whole set population of 70 million people who voted for a reality TV star again.
Yeah,
twice.
It's like there's
like,
no common ground.
You have like these retards who are like literally like. That's why I hate
when people say like we need to come together. It's like what the fuck? Have you met these people?
I mean, it's not even like we need to come together. It's like we do, but we've gotten to a point where it's not possible.
Yeah,
like, now it's like people can only come together in small bits of congestion.
Right.
Like you'd be like, all right, I found my community here in this small area, and that's it. And it's like. This is just, like, not healthy. This is not a healthy state for a nation to be in. And I don't have a solution. I mean, quite frankly, like, it seems like secession is on the way. I don't think that's good, but, like, it seems like it's on the way.
Well, certain, like, low-level government people have introduced the idea in, like, southern states. I think it would be hilarious if they seceded because they don't make shit. So they'd be, honestly, and I know I'm going to sound like a liberal pussy right here, but California provides like most of the industry in the entire United States. California is the third largest economy.
And New York, though.
And New York, but California by itself is the third largest economy in the entire world.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So it's like the California gives more money to federal aid than it takes back, whereas a state like Alabama or Mississippi takes in more money. They're literally they always say like welfare state. They are literally a welfare state.
Yeah, it's like, actually, you guys are sucking more money
like,
out.
What do they make? What does somebody in, like, there's no business in Mississippi. They wouldn't survive a month.
I don't think it's not totally fair because the entertainment industry is in Cali.
That's true. But there's also, like, Silicon Valley. There's, like, a lot of to be fair, like, actually, most agriculture comes from California. That's what I was surprised to find out. I usually think most agriculture would come from, like, the Midwest.
I mean, they just have so much land.
Yeah,
and it's hot. It's hot with good weather. Perfect for cultivating.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like, yeah, I just think that's like the next step is like there's just going to be another big fucking blowout.
Right.
And people are just going to be done.
Another
and, like,
Charlottesville.
And finally, like, people are going to start. It's just going to happen again, man. Like,
I think you can, when I say, like, come together, you can hang out with people that are, like, completely on the other side, or even, like, you can come together and, like, interact and whatever, have a party. You just can't ever talk anything about politics at all. But it's like, that's not really coming together.
Yeah, I mean, you're not exactly, because you're not actually coming together, and the hanging out is kind of fake.
It's like a fake. Yeah, it's a
You're
fake.
like pretending like, oh, I'm pretending you're not awful. I'm pretending you're not horrible and evil.
It's
deep down,
toleration.
like,
It's not really
yeah.
accept. It's like you're tolerating somebody else's presence for X amount of time until they can leave, and you can be like, "Wow, what a fucking douchebag."
Yeah, or you just be like, yeah, he was really cool to hang out with. I just really don't agree with his view on, like,
Everything.
homosexuality.
Like, I just don't agree with everything
Anything he thinks. And quite frankly, his beliefs would hurt me if they were all enacted.
Yeah. I think
That's the hard
anti-gay
part, is
people-
when people have beliefs that would hurt you.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's when I get cancel culture, but it's also like, there's just no, I don't know, man. I think it's kind of depressing.
Oh yeah, I love this because this podcast is very cathartic to just talk, because it's like I see this stuff and it makes me angry and not even just angry, it makes me sad that I thought like this would be like this year would be different, or not even different. I feel like this is the same shit we've been doing for like the past 2 years, is like people talking about cartoon characters and bullshit, and it's just getting more and more extreme, worse. And it's like I don't see a way out of this.
I knew it wouldn't end with Trump losing.
I know it's not going to end, but I thought it was going to be like, I didn't think everything was going to end, or I thought like...
You thought people would calm down.
I thought people would not just calm down, but I also I agree. But I also thought like we would stop talking about the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
I thought we would stop trying to gender our toys. But
yeah, exactly. I thought that would like die down as a fade, and people would be like, can we like get back to being normal? No. And it's gotten worse,
ends.
though.
That shit never ends, man. That's the thing, is like,
if
anything, they feel more empowered now.
Yeah.
Now they're like, well, who's next?
It's so fucking dumb. And then, yeah, like, Paris Hilton is a victim. Dude, Paris Hilton, and I think it's even worse than Meghan Markle, because she's literally... Actually, it's probably the same, because Meghan Markle was like an actress. She had to, like...
Yeah.
You know, Paris Hilton was born into the Hilton dynasty.
Yeah.
Her parents... like, are millionaires who run a hotel empire.
Yeah.
She's never had to lift a finger. The only reason she's ever famous is because she filmed herself getting fucked in the ass. Yeah. And then put it outside. And then she made a reality television show with Nicole Richie where they would go to different, like, working class families and make fun of them for being poor. And be like, wow, we could never do this shit.
What show was that?
It was called The Simple Life with Paris and Nicole. And what it was like these two royal bitches. Like, it was Nicole Richie, was Lionel Richie's daughter. They would go and be like, we're going to work in a coal mine today. Or, like, we're going to be a toll booth workers.
It's like, we're going to see how the dirt people live.
Yeah, and that was the show every day. And it was like, oh my god, isn't that funny that these rich people are living like working class people? It's horrible. Anyway, so she's, like, obviously an awful person. And now she's playing the victim card because she was made fun of by Sarah Silverman in the media 10, 15 years ago.
A lot of people to try to cancel. I mean, Sarah Silverman, like...
Dude, she even gave into that. Because the thing was, Hilton was angry because Sarah Silverman made jokes about her at the VMAs when she was about to go to college, when she was about to go to jail.
It's like when she was graduating high school. She made a joke at her, she was the valedictorian. She made a really tasteless joke about Paris Hilton.
Well, she was about to go to jail, like, the next day, but she attended this award ceremony, and, like, Sarah Silverman made the joke where she was like, I found that the people... No, I'm not going to do her voice. But she said, like, she's going to prison, and to make her feel more at home, they're changing the rails on the jails to penises. But they're afraid that Paris Hilton would break her teeth on them. And it's like, all right, whatever. It's a joke. Who gives a shit?
I mean, honestly, it's a pretty accurate joke.
It's a pretty funny joke. She thought the joke was sexist. She's probably got a legitimate gripe there. But Sarah Silverman... Instead of being like, listen, this is like 13 years ago.
Sexist if you're really a whore?
I don't think so. It's like an accurate...
I mean, come on. It's it's sexist. It's like, well, no, it's more based on your behavior than anything.
It's sexist. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go suck a cup.
It's like, it's like sexist now. Anyway, I do have an appointment with 10 guys later.
But it's also like, Sarah Silverman, she fucking apologized. What a puss.
Yeah, dude, Sarah Silverman has been a cancel culture pussy for years.
Dude, and she
gave in a long time ago.
She used to be cool, man. When she had
I think what happened is, like, she got those acting gigs.
Yeah.
And, more so than other comedians of her class. And so she kind of has more contracts that don't really allow her to not, I mean, when Louis got, like, caught up, I feel like you could tell she didn't, like, really feel that, like, she might have been upset with him for it, but like,
she's more concerned about her image.
Yeah, like, I was watching her apology more than anything, like, not her apology, more just her addressing Louis, talking about it. More than anything, she just looked nervous. Like, not I'm disgusted by Louis. More just like, how can I, like, say this right?
How can I defend my close friend and also, like, appease the canceled mob? And
yeah, literally. Like,
the thing about it is, it comes down to one thing: is she's fake.
Yeah, right.
That's all it is. She's
fake.
But
I did see that one movie where she gets naked.
Which one
she
was
does
that?
have a nice ass. I don't know.
Oh, she's hot as fuck.
There was a GIF on Google where she's naked in the shower.
She's hot, man.
I know Jack's gonna jerk off to it later, but
you
all owe it to yourself to look it up.
I saw her on Conan once. She is banging. I would totally fuck her.
I wouldn't call her banging.
She's got nice legs. She's got nice legs. I have weird taste.
And on that note,
but the last thing it's just like, yeah, I remember when she used to be funny and cool, and she kind of became like a Melvin past few years. Anyway, yeah. On that note, I think
Sarah Silverman's a Melvin, and yeah, thank you guys for listening.
See you next week.
Thank you for listening to A Podcast Orange.